For my first ESSE review, you're like, what about that clone you reviewed 2 years ago? Shh, don't talk about that. For the first ESSE review that I'm doing, the ESSE6-HM, the newest version of the YouTube Bushcraft favorite heavy outdoor survival tactical knife or whatever, I decided to travel deep into the bush and practice some real survival skills. Like, can I get the clicks, which consist of my beating on wood, carving thin strips of wood, making sparks close to my face without eye protection, and wait for the, hey, how long are you going to be out there? What exactly are you doing? Now you know, and I know, that ESSE knives are probably not the lightest. I mean, I'm not saying they're shrades, but they're not for the gram counters. So let's hit up the dimensions and see what I mean, like this part, the overall length and weight, with and without the leather sheath. According to some reviews, I think some people call 10 ounces light. Cool. The blade length and the cutting edge. Handle size, grip area, then the handle thickness and the spine thickness. The ESSE6HM is a revision of the popular, well, I think it's popular. ESSE still hasn't shared sales figures with me at the time I published this review. The ESSE6 series of knives. For this edition, they changed the handle shape and modified the blade so it's a bit more friendly for bush people. So let's start with the blade, and you'll have to bear with me because I do not own any of the other ESSE6 knives, although I would like to, so someone can send them all to me for free. The original ESSE6 had a longer blade with a choil. Now, I'm not a fan of choils personally, and I've never said choils so much, but I don't know if removing the choil helps necessarily with this knife since there's no finger guard for cutting. So the choil's gone, but it still has a drop point flat ground blade coated in a textured black powdered coat finish, which is thicker than, say, the Teflon-esque coat on the Schrade SCHF 51 and 52 knives, which I reviewed like way back when. Now, I want to know, is it the knife or the knife bro? You're like, definitely the knife bro. Because the ESSE6 CM has the choil gone, but still has the finger guards. And I think my main complaint about this is it doesn't have finger guards. Sorry, I mean the Keon or Quillion. So it probably comes down to how I need to buy a knife for how I hold a knife, and not the other way around. Not every knife is supposed to cater to what I want. My pointer finger rests a little too close to the blade, and it creates a hot spot for me. The handle. The handle is nice and bulbous, like I like. It's comfortable, and there ain't no jimping nowhere neither. Sorry, I felt the need for a triple negative. I don't know, maybe it was a quadruple negative. English and math were never my strong suits. Some guy's like, hey, don't forget the jokes, too. So the handle has some nice micarta scales on either side, feeling a little like worn canvas. Much like the DPX Hest review I did that no one watched on Halloween. I think Rowan makes knives for both ESSE and DPX, so the knives look like they both were made by the same company, except that knife had hard jimping and weird edges everywhere, which, you know, I don't know why you would want that. But this knife is minimalist. The only real sharp edge is the blade edge, and the knife requires all grip and friction generated by you. And most of us have been practicing since our teens anyway. So, yeah, I just want to make sure I earn that thumbs down this time with that one. The balance. The balance is a tad handle heavy, probably due to the handle not being skeletonized underneath. Two things I appreciated on the Benchmade Nimravis and the Spyderco Temperance 2. Although those are smaller knives overall, and some people don't like the VG10 for the Spyderco Temperance 2. This knife still isn't quite as heavy as my Schrade 51 and 52, which are all over 15 ounces. So I guess weight's relative, and I really can't tell you what's too big or too light, but I have seen some product descriptions about how light this knife is. You know, everybody has a different opinion, right? The sheath. The sheath is a throwback to the days of leather sheaths. Sure, it has the logo emblazoned on it, like the billboard on the blade, but it's constructed out of heavy-duty, thick leather, and much like the knife itself, it's made in the USA. The knife fits down deep inside of it, although there is no mechanism other than tightness or friction for keeping the knife in its sheath. And since mine isn't fully broken in yet, We'll have to see how well I like it over time. But the sheath should last as long as a knife. Okay, so you know that I have no problems showing my failures on this channel, so bear with me. Basically, let's pretend we're surviving in the backyard and beat on some wood and not start a fire, but look like we're trying. First, let's baton. In my spider monkey video, you know, the one where I fight a primate to its death, there was no batoning, and subscriber Alexra, I hope I said that right, brought it up. So this is all his fault, plus martial law, because he's still trying to get me to baton with a flashlight. And this will have to hold him over. But yeah, it's a big blade, so this equally ridiculous sized piece of lawn garbage will have to work, even though it's kind of rotten and there's still a lot of knots in it. Cool, then afterwards I'll make some feather sticks, which are sticks with feathers glued to them. Unfortunately, my ferro rod is a bit used, so I wasn't able to get any real good sparks or shavings from it. But I have another one that I need to find, like, I don't know, laying around here in all my garbage. Now the ESSE has a coated blade, so ferro rod striking is going to peel it off. Now I don't know why you'd buy this knife and not beat the crap out of it, so it does strike better with the coating removed. Okay, so I'll talk a bit longer as we wrap it up. Having spent a few weeks with this knife and getting to know it, I'd probably prefer the ESSE CM6. But this was newer and I need to buy new stuff to get the clicks. At least I think that's how it works. You know, we're being honest, right? I actually like the knife quite a bit, but I find my finger gets a bit close to the blade while I'm making feather sticks. Or wood shavings, which is what I'm actually doing here, not a feather stick. I use the term feather stick like I use the word bushcraft, meaning I'm actually doing neither. And it caused a tiny cut after working with the wood, you know, for about a half an hour in the backyard. Maybe if you don't work with your wood this long, you may not injure yourself. If you like light bushcraft knives, you'll want something a tad smaller and maybe with a skeletonized handle if you must baton. The edge stayed sharp for the 2 or 3 weeks I've had it, and it should be fine for a while longer before sharpening. I experienced no chipping or edge rolling of the blade steel, despite trying to shave off some of the ferro rod covertly with the blade edge. So people wouldn't tell me, "You strike it on the spine, idiot. I hope you die alone in a ditch." Because YouTube's the worst, right? It's full of idiots. And you're like, hey, something we agree on. And if you like this review, you're probably not a knife manufacturer because they don't return my emails. But if you are, subscribe to this channel along with all the regular people. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment. And hey, what's your favorite quote-unquote bushcraft knife? My YouTube revenue provided this knife for review, so thanks for watching.